So when we first moved here, we actually weren't ready. We told the apartment that we wanted to move in on the first of the month because when we moved in, it was the 19th. We paid a security deposit and we also paid a portion of first month's rent. Now, in my head, I'm like, okay, that money should be used towards an actual rent because we literally only had a week to pay to be paying like another rent like for what, June. So now we're in June. Um Previous to this, as we were saving for our apartment, I got let go of my job. There is a video on my page already about that. And so basically I've been out of work since April, like for a month. And the situation that's also recorded as well. So you guys can go back, and if you have any questions, I'll answer the questions for you. But so I was living with my grandmother, me, my husband, and our two children. We wouldn't be there like all of the time. Mainly, the apartment was my grandmother's. She had a 2 bedroom, 2 bath townhome, and we stayed in the room that she offered for us to be in. And so I started to notice like some behaviors of hers, like where she just really didn't want us around. So I started waiting to the end of the day, like 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, where she would have her time to come home, to go upstairs in her room, and then we would come in and have to, whether it be feed our kids or just constantly spending money, so that, or spending money on food. So that way, when we do come in the house, our children won't be upset or cranky or be loud and she be annoyed. And so, but nevertheless, she was always annoyed, still annoyed. Just a spirit that is just unhappy, right? So she did have some things happen, but we did ask her before we came there. Um, in her best interest, I think she should have just said no because we had the worst experience of our life. That was probably the worst experience of our life living with a family member. So we had an altercation. What was the altercation about? The fact of her giving the hush money.
After she gave it or before?
It was it because she was asking us when the apartment was available. That was the last altercation, right?
Oh yeah, before she gave us the money, yeah, she was like pressing my wife on when we were going to be moving out, and we was telling her we was just waiting on the apartments to um get back to us because this whole time, like the unit that we're in now, they were telling us it wasn't ready. We couldn't see it, and like when we came here to actually do a tour, they gave us a tour of the outside, like the community, not the inside of the apartment. We couldn't see inside of it. Um, and so we didn't even have clear answers from the leasing office for this apartment to even give her grandma an answer. And you know, basically she was just forcing us out. And you know, my wife was just telling her like, you know, it's on God's timing. You know, like we're doing everything we can. We're saving what we can. At that time, like the grandmother didn't even know that Nakina my wife had lost her job because I think definitely like she would have like just put us out anyway. Like we gotta go because she lost her job, but losing her job, like once again, you know, I think she posted another video on her page explaining it. You know, it was really out of my wife's control. Like, so it was nothing we could really do about that. We was going off for one income, which was mine, and like even the hours of my job changed and stuff like that. Like I wasn't reaching 8 hours, you know, every time I worked. But basically, my wife just told her grandmother like, you know, some God's timing, you can't rush what God is trying to do. And you know, her grandma was just saying like she's depressed and just trying to put her personal issues on us because we were living under her roof. But once again, we barely seen her even living there. Like if we by the time we got home, she was already in her room, or she was downstairs and we went in our room, and like we just say hello and then go, just go in our room. It didn't feel like she wanted us there. She didn't want us there. She didn't make us feel welcome. Um, yeah, so it definitely wasn't pleasant. Um, but they got into it because my wife told her, after the grandmother said she's depressed and she feels certain type of ways. My wife told her, she needs Jesus, and
Like, you need to talk to God about that.
yeah, and we all need Jesus. We all need to talk to God and about our issues and ask for wisdom and guidance and stuff. So she just passed out, but
And she didn't know that night in particular, she didn't know that my husband was there. So he heard everything. And then she tried to go behind my back and text him and basically say, like, hey, when you guys move in here, because this is the last month basically that Nakina can stay here. And it's not just me, it's my children too. So if you put me out, you put my children out. But people always want to make it seem like, they're always doing something good or always doing something for you. So he was there, he heard everything. And we were trying to decide if we wanted to even take the money from her, the $1,000 that she had, because she said that she would help us. Okay, so that was before. That had been before. So, yeah. So, we were trying to figure out if she was still willing to help. She said yeah. But even after that, we were like, we don't know if we want to. This one especially was like just spiritually sensing. And so, of course, now we know, like when we got to the apartment on May 19th, the money order that she gave us, it was completely wrong. I don't even think she asked. She was just like, I'm just going to write a check, because at that point, she just wanted us out. She just wanted us gone. So it was the wrong type of check. And I think that was God letting us, trying to get our attention, because it was down to the wire. Like, we got there late, and then the office was about to close. Like, it was like 5:30. My husband went with the two kids, rushed to meet her so that she could give us the right type of check, and then he rushed back. We gave it to them. She gave us a total of $1,000, but all throughout the while, she was like talking down on me, talking down on our family, talking down on saying that I am and I don't claim this, but saying that I am a squatter, when like acting like I just showed up to your doorstep with my family and said, can we come in? Like, no, I would never do that. But just constantly talking down and thinking that we need someone to help us to succeed. And so spiritually, we're here, right? And we see these signs that God is giving us. It rains. He's constantly showing us rainbows and letting us know, like, his promises with us. And so with that being said, like, we understand now why we shouldn't have taken that money. We were in the process of going into I don't even know what you would call it. It's kind of like a stationary home that allows you to build and do what you need to do, so that way when you're ready to get your own home, you will really be ready. And so we were in the process of doing that, and she didn't know, like nobody knew any of this, but I just felt like this was a distraction because we knew we weren't ready. We wanted to move in on the first. They weren't making it available for us to move in on the first. It was just every excuse after the sun. So, hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
And here's just here. Anyway, so now we're here. They have presented us with 30-day notice, basically, and I must say, like, I'll be right back. So now we're back. Everybody can see the whole family, and and so I got a job at Brooklyn Water Bagel. That's obviously a bagel place. Really good food, or I'll say good food, but I got hired May 28th. They fired me, and they took me off the schedule June 5th.
Now this is after we done moved into our apartment.
Yes.
We, here trying to figure out how we're gonna pay, because we moved in on the 19th, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the middle of the month, basically the middle of May, and we're like, all right, we know what's going on with our jobs. We know that we have one income.
No. Sit down. Sit down, son. You should have brought your tablet in here. Sit down. Thank you. Go ahead.
Moving in here, like we moved in here because like something just bit me. I don't know what it was. Something in that carpet. I don't know, but you're gonna have to sit down, son. Okay. You can't keep getting the camera.
Where's the car? Go.
We'll explain that later. But right now, your dad's talking. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So, like I said, like this is after we done moved in. She lost her job. Like, she got her job after we moved in and lost it within a week. Not even a week.
Not even.
She only worked what?
3 days.
3 days.
3 days.
And they fired her because they said that she was a tryout. They hired her for a tryout. You don't do that. I get temp service, but she wasn't hired through a temp service. She was hired straight through the company. And they fired her within 3 days because she was a tryout. And as she was hired in, they were still hiring people. And like, you do that with your interviewing. Like, when you interview a person and you keep interviewing to see who did you like the most based off their experience. You don't hire somebody and then say, oh, no, we're just going to try you out and then fire you. Like, so that happened. And once again, meanwhile, I'm working where I'm working, and, they are like, the hours are not there, basically. And so that put us behind even more. And so we don't have the finances to keep this place. We are probably just gonna have to leave and surrender this place now.
And we were willing. I was offered another job, but it required me mainly working with 2 men a lot of the time, and the schedule wasn't lining up because my husband is going after some opportunities, pursuing some opportunities to better our family, and it just wouldn't have worked out. So to put the icing on the cake, something that has been a burden for my husband since he got it, it got removed today. And the reason why we want to warn people about just accepting money, whether it be, it feels like it's generous, or people treat you extra nasty and then they say, hey, here, here's $1,000 or here's this. We want to warn people because we know that, number one, that's not how God would have wanted us to come into a home that was ours. That's number one. Number two, seeing how all these things are starting to happen, now all of a sudden we're not able to, pay our rent or have a job when we're willingly wanting to work, willingly wanting to do things so that we can have a place of our own for our family and be established. And so that's how we know, along with the spiritual intent that my husband was given, that that money did not have good intentions attached to it. And so we want to warn people And this place, it reminds us of our other place. It's a lot of things are better, but it's still very, very, very similar. And so we weren't expecting this. And even when we came in for the tour, they said that they were working on things, but as we see here, it's like it's hair in the floor, pushed up against all of the cupboards. There's still chipped paint, and it's just a lot of things. As soon as we moved in, they needed to come and fix immediately. And so now we're here, and we're just asking God, like, what we have to go on is God's promises, our faith, what we need to continue to just be seeking the Lord for. There are cases where He will give it to us, but there's times where we have to go after it, because we're no longer babes in the Spirit. So we wanted to share these things with you because you're not alone. You're not the only ones going through this. You're not the only one that has a family and they don't know what really is going to happen next, or you may not. Like for me, I was telling my husband, like, I don't want God to feel like I'm giving up on this place, but I can clearly see, I can happily walk away from this place knowing that, like, yes, God can turn around all things, but we were already given unctions to not take that money, so and we weren't ready. It wasn't the time where we wanted. Guys, no, you opened up that door and let him in there. So bring him out and come sit right here. Thank you. So, yeah, we just wanted to talk to you guys, update you. We're obviously, didn't want this to happen, but like, especially because my grandmother, she knows the things that we've been through. So it's like, why give us something? And just us knowing what we know, you knew we weren't ready to move. So like the money attached to it made it seem like it was nice, but it really wasn't, because we don't need any evictions. You know what I'm saying? We don't need those things attached to our name. So why? It was just her and it was us, and we were in the room. We barely were allowed to cook. I mean, we were allowed to cook, but we didn't feel comfortable cooking. And it was just a number of things that kind of that was meant to set us up for failure. But the God that we serve, we know that He takes those very things and puts us where we need to be. So we're here. If you have any questions, ask. We appreciate you for watching, and we pray that you be encouraged on your journey and what may be happening for you. If you've been seeing God's signs, if He's been giving you signs, letting you know He's there for you, He will never leave you, He'll never forsake you, then trust in that. Let the angel of God guide you to where you need to be. And that's what we have. And we pray that all things continue to work together for your good, even though you are going through certain things, because that's the God that we serve. So we love you. I hope that you be encouraged, and we bless you and wish you the best.